Tired of the price of takeout? Let's make Pad Gaprao instead. It's fast, savory, sweet, and satisfying. We start by simmering water in one pot, and in another pot, we're going to heat up our rice. First, add the olive oil into the heated pot, then follow with the rice. Stir to coat all the grains, making sure they're lacquered with that oil. Follow with the salt, and then the water once it's come to a strong simmer. By the way, we're going to be baking this rice, hence the reason why your oven's at 425. Place the rice into the oven, and then set your timer for 15 minutes. Now I'm going to show you how to go about dicing up an onion. This is the fastest, easiest, and safest way to go about it. You're going to clean your onion. Clean off the top and the bottom, and then cut it in half. Once you have it cut in half, we're then going to keep it upright so we can make some incisions. This is just scoring the onion. You're just going to make sure that you know where to enter the blade once you've laid that onion down on its flattest side. First things first, we're going to insert at the lowest point. We're going to wiggle just the top part of that knife 3/4 of the way through that onion. Once you've reached that point, take it out and insert your knife into the next incision that you made. Now you're going to take your best guess as to where your 3/4 point was. You're going to take the tip of the knife and drive it down through that point all the way down to the cutting board. You're going to do this all the way across to the other side of the onion. Once you've reached the other side, place the tip of the knife on the opposite side of the onion and then just lay the knife down through, resulting in all these beautifully diced pieces of onion. Yeah, see that last quarter part? That was helping to hold most of the onion together. Pinch it in between your thumb and index finger, cut it in half, lay it down, and then get the same size diced pieces that you just created. And that's it. So easy peasy, nice and safe. You have all your fingers. Now gather it all up. Place it into a bowl and set it off to the side with your minced up garlic. Now let's move on to the sauce. I like this sauce so much, I'm doubling it. I like to have it around because it's the base for so many other dishes that I like to make. Get your soy sauce into a bowl and then add in the water. Grab your oyster sauce, and no more oysters are used to make this sauce, but they were a part of the original recipe. Then grab your fish sauce, but do yourself a favor. Don't smell the fish sauce on its own because you'll hate it. You'll hate me, you'll think the dish doesn't need it when it really indeed does, and you'll thank me for that later. Add in your sugar, give it a stir, and then set it off to the side. Now let's focus on the rest of our ingredients. I happen to be working with ground up chicken thighs in this video, followed by red pepper. I'll show you how to dice that in a minute. Haricot vert, aka green beans, and I'm working with basil because I can never find holy basil, but it tastes about the same. So let me show you how to go about dicing up that red pepper. But wait, oh my God, the timer's going off. What about the rice? Get that lid off, grab a fork, and let's see if it's done. You're going to stir it all up so it doesn't stick together. And let's see if it's nice and fluffy and al dente. It is. Perfect. Cover it up and set it off to the side. Now let's dice that pepper. We're going to use the entire pepper. The only part that we're going to be throwing away is going to be the green stem because it's not edible, and the membranes and the seeds. So cut off the top and the bottom and just set them off to the side. Get that stem into the trash, and then let's insert the knife in between the membranes and the side of the pepper. You can stick the tip out the other side just to make sure that it's all the way through, but it's not a must. Then you're going to rotate the barrel of the pepper around the knife. The knife, in other words, is going to be laying more or less parallel with the cutting board. Once it's been rotated all the way around, you're then going to remove the center of the pepper along with the membranes and most of the seeds out and then into the trash. Double check to make sure that as much of the seeds and the membrane have been removed because no one likes seeds. Now let's cut that pepper in half and then lay it flat on the cutting board. Working with the tip of the knife, we're then going to draw back. That's right, a little bit different. Draw back to make our nice pepper strips. Now we're going to place the tip of the knife on the other side of those strips and lay the knife down. Yep, look at that, resulting in a diced pepper. We're going to do the same with the top and the bottom. We're going to draw backwards, create strips, and then nosedive the tip of that knife on the other side of those strips, and voila, we've got diced pepper. Now set it off to the side. Let's move on to the green beans. I personally like to cut my green beans about 1 inch in length for this dish. I like to line them up with the back side of my knife and make sure that they're all lined up perfectly so that I'm not chasing pieces of green beans. It's not fun. Yep, lay the tip on the other side of those green beans, let the rest of the knife fall where it may, and then you've got diced up green beans. That's right, set it off to the side. Now let's take a look at our lineup. This is the order in which they're going to go into the pan as well. We've got our onions, I've got my ground up chicken thighs, I have my sauce, and I've got my minced up garlic. Then last but not least, I've got the green beans, the red peppers, and drumroll please, basil. So once you have this all lined up, it's all going to go into just one pan. Your pan is heated up for about 2 minutes. Then you've added in your oil. You want to make sure your oil has been thoroughly heated through before adding in your onions. This will help you to sweat your onions. In other words, we're just going to cook them until they're shiny and glistening. Then we're adding our meat. If you're working with chicken thighs like I am, you're going to have to put in some extra effort to break them apart. Don't worry, the final texture will be entirely worth it. Once the meat has been halfway cooked through, that's when you're going to add in your sauce. The reason why you want to add it halfway through is because you want the sauce to, 1, add some flavor to the meat, 2, help you to cook the meat so it's nice and tender at the very end. After that's been cooked for about 1 minute, that's when we're going to add in our garlic. We want to make sure that there's a little sauce in there so that the garlic actually doesn't become bitter or burned. And, of course, adds a tremendous amount of flavor. If you want more garlic at the end, add it at the end. So, now we're going to cook until our meat has been thoroughly cooked because we're going to add the vegetables and we're going to move even faster now. I like crunchy vegetables, so I cook them a lot less. So I just cook my green beans until they're bright green. Then I follow in with my red peppers. If you want to do so, feel free. If not, you like them soft, add in all of your sauce and cook them longer. Then, last but not least, that basil, which makes the entire dish. You're going to saute the basil until it wilts, and there you go. You've just made Pad Gai Prao. In fact, you made that dish so fast that your rice is still warm. So let's serve it up. The rice will go in first. And let's face it, that rice needs some love. So the sauce is going to go on second because sauce is boss, rice is boring, and we want this dish to shine. After you've got that sauce on there, top it off with the rest of the meat and the vegetables. And check it out. You just made and served up Pad Gai Prao faster than your favorite local Thai restaurant could have made it and delivered it to you for a fraction of the cost. Who can beat that? Enjoy!